Hello again, guys. Now we are going to have language arts class, and in this occasion we are going to learn about something that you already know, because I know you have learned it in Spanish with Miss Chayito, but today we are going to learn it in English. And the topic of today is about the parts of a book. So every day we use books to read, to learn, to study, to do homework, and it's important for you to know which one are the parts of a book. So let's start. In a book we have many parts. So for example, here we have the title of the book, The Tiny Turtle. You are going to find the title in the front of the book. This is the front cover or the cover of the book. Then, most of the books, especially those that are for kids, are going to have an illustration that is a big image about what the book is or related with the title. Also, we have the author. The author, remember, is the person who writes the book. The illustrator, the person who illustrates the book, who draw or paints the images that you are going to find inside the book. By here we have the spine. Is this part that joins the front cover with the back cover. So this one is the front cover, all these. This one is the spine, and this one is the back cover. And in the back cover we are going to have some other information, sometimes about the author or some other important information of the book. Inside the book we are going to have the pages, but also we have some other important parts inside the book that you have to know. Let's go inside a book. Inside a book, when you open the book, you are going to have the title page. Is a page with the same title that you are going to find in the cover page. Okay? For example, I want you to look at me right now. Here I have a real book. This is the cover, the front of the book. Here you have the title. Okay? But also, inside the book, you are going to have or to find another page with the same title of here. Look. So this page, it's called the title page. Do you see it? Okay. So besides the title page, also we are going to have the copyright page. And the copyright is also in the beginning of the book. If you look for it, for example, in this case, look, in this book that I have here, you're going to find the copyright by here. The copyright gives you information about the publishing information, the year, the author, in what city it was published, the book, who published the book, and all that information that you are going to find in the copyright. In here, if you can see, you have a little C. This C is the symbol for copyright. After the symbol of copyright, you are going to find the name of the author. So in this case, who is the author of this book? Steve Stack. And this book was published in this year, 2012. Then, after this, you are going to find, sometimes it's before, sometimes it's after. Who is the publisher or the company that published the book? Okay? And by here you are going to find a series of numbers The ISBN, the ISBN is a series of numbers that any book, each book has. For what? What is the usefulness of those numbers? Why they are there? It's because with these numbers, it is easy to find this book in a library or in a bookstore. Okay, by here also we have the table of content. This is another part that you are going to find inside a book. The table of content is a list with all the chapters and the pages in which they are. Chapter 1, a new way to look at your money. It's in page 15. So these numbers represent the pages in which this chapter begins. Okay, and also we have other, beside the chapters, we can find other parts. For example, parting words, acknowledgements, appendix, index. Some other books are going to have glossaries, okay? Then also we have the chapter title. In this case, this is an example of a book, chapter 8, and the title of chapter 8 is Open Ocean, Open Heart. Also, we are going to find captions in the book. And what is a caption? A caption is a little description that we are going to find with a picture. When you have a picture in a book, you are going to have a little text besides the picture or under the picture describing what the picture is about. Those are called captions, are different from the text. This one is the text, this one is the caption. Glossary. Remember that we use glossaries a lot in our class with learning destination books. And in the glossary, you are going to find in an alphabetical order some words, important words that you are going to find only in that book, and the definitions of those words in the glossary. Also, we have the index. An index is very alike with a table of content, but in here what you are going to find is, for example, specific information that you can find in the book. For example, in this book, the index of this book talks about a history of Evansville and Vanderburgh County, Indiana. In what pages does this book talks about that? 117 and 118. So it's to find, the index is for you to find specific information about a specific topic in the book. Now guys, I want you to open your learning destination book in page 78. Learning destination, page 78. And in here you are going to find all the parts of the book that we were explaining before. Look, the parts of a book, I want you to underline this, include its cover, title page, copyright page, table of contents, chapter, titles, captions, section heads, glossary, and index. So when we analyze or when we examine the parts of a book, that information can give you clues about a book and help you to learn as much as you can from the book that you're going to learn, to read. So let's see the directions. Read the following copyright page and answer the questions below. Here you have an example of a copyright page. Look, this is an example of a copyright page of I don't know what book. And we are going to answer this question that we have in here. If you paid attention to my explanation before, we are going to be able to answer these questions as fast as a what? Okay, so let's see number 1. What is the purpose of a copyright page in a book? Do you remember I explained you why a book has a copyright page? It gives you information about what? About the author? Yes. What else? About the publishing information. It gives you publishing information of the book, the year in which the book was published, the author, in what city, what company printed the book, and so on. So in this case, so let's answer, it gives all the publishing information of the book. Okay? So let's go to number 2. The owner of the copyright is listed after the symbol C. Remember? Do you remember? That I told you that after the symbol of the copyright we have the owner of the copyright of the book and the year of publication. Who owns the copyright for the text of this book? Who is the owner according to this? Of this book. Look what name is after the symbol. Jennifer Armstrong. So let's answer Jennifer Armstrong. Number 3. What do you think it means to own the copyright to a book? If you are the owner, imagine that you wrote a book and you are the owner of that book. What does it mean to be the owner of the book or to have the copyright to a book? I want you to read this part. All rights reserved, including the right of reproduction, in whole or in part in any form. That means that if you are not the owner of a book, you cannot make copies, you cannot publish, you cannot use the book without the permission of the owner. So, if you are the owner, what does it mean to have the copyright to a book? That only you and only you have the rights to the book. It can't be published or used without your permission. If someone wants to use your book, if someone wants to make copies of that book, that person has to ask you for the permission. That is the meaning of having the copyright to a book. Number 4, who published this book? And when was the book published? First, we are going to answer this question. Who published this book? So after the owner, that was Jennifer Armstrong, we are going to find here, look, who published this book? It was First Aladdin Paperbacks. So let's answer that. In what year? In 2003. So let's answer it. First Aladdin Paperbacks in 2003. And the last question, how do you think might numbers such as the Library of Congress number or ISBN number be used? Do you remember I explained you this before? How do you think these numbers are used for? To find a book easily in a library or a bookstore. Excellent. So here you have the answer, to find the books easily in a library or a bookstore. Okay guys, so stop the video, complete the answers of this page because the next page is your homework. Page 79 is the homework that you have to do. Directions. Study the following table of contents page. Here you have a table of content. And then answer the questions below. I'm going to read only the questions, but you are going to answer by yourself. Number 1. What does the title tell you this book will be about? Read the title. Forming a Government for the United States of America. So by reading the title, what do you think this book is going to be about? So write it in here, okay? Not the title. Write what you think the book is going to talk about. Number 2. What do the numbers of the right, these numbers in here, of the right side of the page represent? Tell me first. Let's answer this question first. Here you have 2 questions in only one. So first we are going to answer this. What do these numbers of here represent? Easy. I already explained you in the beginning. So write it in here. And then it says, where would you find a chapter about checks and balances? So reading here, check and balances. Check and balances. Where are you going to find, in what page are you going to find a chapter of checks and balances? Look, a government of checks and balances. In what page? So, completing here. Number 3. What can you learn about a book by studying its table of contents before you read? Number 3, for example, if you read the contents, if you read the table of contents before, you say, okay, chapter 1 is the framers of the Constitution. Chapter 2, a ranging debate. Chapter 3, a government of checks and balances, and so on. So what can you what can you learn from the table of content before reading a book? So answering here, what can you learn from that? Number 4, how many chapters are in the book? Here you have them easy. How many chapters? And what is the purpose of chapter titles? Why do you think it's necessary to have the titles of each chapter? What is the purpose? And number 5, what other sections can you find in this book besides chapters? Besides the chapters, what other sections do you have? You have 3 more, so write them in here. I already answered for you this page. The only thing you have to do is to write the answers. So, complete this page and send it immediately when you finish it to me. Okay? Remember our saying at the end of each class, count your blessings.